It says, meet the riot squad, right-wing reporters whose viral videos are used to smear Black Lives Matter.
The sound of glass breaking on Inauguration Day in Portland, Oregon, as black-clad anti-capitalist protesters attacked the Democratic Party office, was music to the ears of Julio Rosas, the video journalist who recorded these images. That's because Rosas, who works for the right-wing website Town Hall, specializes in shooting viral video of mayhem at left-wing protests. Rosas posted his video on Twitter, where it racked up over 1 million views. Rosas joined Laura Ingraham on Fox News that night.
Julio Rosas, townhall.com senior writer.
Giving national attention to what would have been, without his footage, a local news story.
What they're targeting is their political enemies who have no power. They're not saying what these journalists are videotaping and releasing is false. They're not saying that that it's made up or that anything about it is nefarious. They're just saying they don't like that they're doing this.
I'm not saying it would never be valid or legitimate to do a video story on reporters, but this isn't like Bob Woodward or like Judy Miller that they've decided to target. These are like two young, like very obscure videographers, like two Hispanic reporters who write for small outlets whose crime is that they've actually been doing journalism. What they've been doing is that they go around to Antifa protests and riots. Now, maybe you're in favor of Antifa, maybe you're against them, maybe you're neutral. But the job of a journalist is not to do propaganda for Antifa or any other group. It's to inform the public about what these groups are doing so that you can then decide with all the information that you have reported to you whether you approve these groups or not. And one of the things Antifa does is they use violence. They use property destruction, looting, and they often actually attack journalists. Now, the Intercept would never report on Antifa or Black Lives Matter except as spokespeople. They would never say, for example, oh, there's this working class community, which is where the destruction usually happens, furious about the fact that these skinny white kids from Portland came in and smashed a bunch of windows of like immigrant store owners just because they're like nihilists.
Show me what you got, nihilist. I fuck you!
And they use Black Lives Matter as an excuse to do that. I learned about that, not from the New York Times, certainly not from the Intercept, but from these two journalists, these working class Latino journalists who are going into these neighborhoods, doing risky reporting on a violent group. And the Intercept never, ever would do that. And the reason that they're reporting or dragging them into the light is two reasons. One is because they know that it's dangerous for them to do this reporting. Antifa will attack journalists.
Are these the Nazis, Walter?
No, Donnie, these men are nihilists. There's nothing to be afraid of.
So this is the Intercept's way of inciting violence against them, showing Antifa, look at these two guys' faces. These are the ones who are at your rallies reporting on what you don't want known.
This guy's gonna hurt us, Walter?
No, Donnie, these men are cowards.
You know, when we founded the Intercept in 2013, we thought that the adversaries that we were going to be challenging were the NSA, the Pentagon, the CIA, Wall Street, Silicon Valley. We said that at the time. These people doing this, they don't think that way. They don't see those institutions as their adversaries. They see them, if anything, as their allies. What they believe is this, that the Trump movement and anyone who supports it ideologically, anyone who's a conservative, is not somebody with wrong political views, but is part of a fascist white nationalist movement, that they're actually terrorists and extremists, criminals. And the job of these journalists is to monitor them, track them, the way like the FBI would or the NSA would, track extremists and terrorists, drag them into the sunlight, get them kicked off the internet. They're basically doing the job of the FBI and the NSA, finding ideologically misguided people in their view who are committing thought crimes and using or abusing journalistic platforms to punish them. That's what this is.